guys look at that sky, feel that cold wind. I guess you guys can't feel the wind, but you can probably hear it. It's fall. That means these cars have to go into scrap. This one's not ready yet because I want to keep the motor, I want to keep the struts, I want to keep the axles. I basically want to keep the whole subframe transmission doobob thingy out of it. This one's ready to go, except I need the fuel lines, the battery cables, the struts, the axles, the rims, maybe some other stuff off of it. But she's full. She's got like 4 motors into this thing. This one right here has got to go, but the rad's got to come out of it. They're not even holding water anymore. The catalytic converter's got to come off, and I got to get these snow tires off because they got to go in my van for this winter. This car's got to go, but I got to take some stuff off of it, and I got to finish filling it up. Got to finish filling this one up. And then, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one. I might just tuck it off in the corner and see if she can survive the winter. Is that it that's got to go? Yeah, that's not too bad. There's only 3 that got to go. Maybe 4 that got to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Lumina and we're going to push the Buick out of the way, and then we're going to hook to this thing and try dragging this thing out. Now the problem with that is this thing doesn't have a steering wheel anymore. So, it's going to be a little bit hard to drag. Pretty sure it's in neutral. Is there a transmission on it still? Pretty sure it's in neutral. Oh, anyway. Let's try to get this thing out and see if that Buick, the Lumina will move it. So we're just going to try to push this Buick about 3 feet sideways so we can chain up to this. Sorry about the wind, but because my winch is an 8,000 pound winch, it should have no problems pulling up this car. But with how mangled this car is, and how much weight I have inside this car, all these spare motors inside of it, and the fact that most of the tires are not turning, I'm gonna use a snatch block. Now, if any of you guys know what a snatch block is, that's great, but some of you guys that are new to the hobby and younger don't exactly know what something this does. This here is basically gonna almost, it's like, it doubles and then it has a wear factor and a resistance factor. But anyway, it will basically turn my 8,500 pound winch into almost a 16,000 pound winch. So what we're gonna do is I'll show you guys how to hook this up. So this is pretty simple. What you do is you just wrap a chain. I have a nice little sling right here, wire sling. What you're gonna do is just put the shackle through so it doesn't go anywhere. And then you take your winch cable, just like this, and you open up the snatch. Put it through, just like so. My cable's pretty frayed, so every time I touch it I get hurt. And then you just put that in there. Now, what doubles this is you can actually just bring it all the way back up and attach it to your winch. But there's actually plus side to this. You can use snatch blocks to change the angle of your pull, so that way you can pull the car right or left. Now I'm just gonna take this hook and run it back up to the front and rehook it up, and then we can start bringing the winch in to get this car on there. What this is gonna do is make it a lot easier on my winch to pull this up, and that thing's pretty much near the end of its life. So it's gonna need pretty much all the help it can get. So let's start getting this thing up there. Just gotta hook this onto the front. So now with the cable doubled up through the snatch block and hooked back up beside the winch, black and yellow, black and yellow. Now we can start pulling this thing up. Just gotta touch these together. And she's off. Look at that, pulling it up with ease. It does take longer. But as you can see, the winch doesn't have to work as hard. But I think I'm gonna have to go get a jack to help assist this thing getting on straight. Well, I'm just going to work away on this until the wife gets home from work, I guess. Plan is to remove the front tires, cut all the way around the unibody in front of the strut area, through the subframe, through the frame, throw the front of it away, and hopefully the whole front of the car will kind of sag, and then I can get out my fuel lines and battery cables. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's see how well it goes. So we got the whole front end off of it. Didn't take me that long, maybe 35-40 minutes. But these axles don't really look like they're in the best of shape. All the boots are ripped off. But there's still quite a bit of stuff we're going to save. We're going to save this, all the suspension. We're going to save that. We're going to save that. We're going to take the catalytic converter off. I got my fuel lines and battery cables all dug out. We got the motor mount all taken off. Front end over there on the ground. But the sun's starting to go down, so the temperature's starting to drop. So that's about all I'm going to be doing today to this thing. I'll be back out here tomorrow night working on it, so I'll see you guys back here tomorrow night, which will be right about now. Well, we're back here again today. What we're going to focus on today is unbolting everything. So what do I need? I need fuel lines, battery cable. This here is a brake booster. I'm going to unplug some electrical connections of the distributor. All that fun stuff. Axles, struts, spindles, lower control arms, all that. Now I want to show you guys this. I just don't want to fall while I'm getting up here. This motor came back into the firewall so hard. Take a look what it's done to the brake lines. It's actually crushed them all into the firewall. That's pretty impressive. And that's why I couldn't get any of this stuff out while the motor was still in the car. We're going to take off the catalytic converter. We're going to pull the timing belt out of it. There's lots of stuff that we have to take off this. Well, she's all tied down and it's the end of another day. The sun is set. I had to build a motor mount for a customer, so that's being sent out. A buddy texted me and asked me if he could borrow some donuts. So tomorrow night when I go drop this car off at the scrapyard, I'll drop off the donuts and then I'll mail out the motor mount. But this car here is pretty much stripped. There's nothing left on it. I've kept the spindles, the struts, the brakes, the control arms, the ball joints, the tie rods. In the back, I was going to save all the rear suspension, but honestly, this is a disc brake setup, so it's a little bit different. I removed the discs for scrap weight, but I don't really think it's worth saving. I've taken off a lot of seat belts. I've thrown some straps onto it. Let's go over to this side. Again, we did not really save anything in the back of this car because it was pretty much all garbage. Pretty much all garbage. Over here, again, we saved all the suspension, all the steering. We've also saved the crank pulley, the gear, the timing belt tensioner. I didn't get the distributor off. I'll probably do that tomorrow night. I've got the catalytic converter off. I've got the starter off. Honestly, I've pretty much taken a lot of things off of this. Everything's already put away because it is getting dark. I did save the axles, but I want to show you guys those axles. You know what? This motor here has been in the Toyota Camry wagon I ran last year. It's been in Nukem now for 3 runs, 3 hard runs, but all you guys were saying save it. I think this motor is done. The amount of smoke that was coming out of the valve cover in this thing was horrible. And you know what? It did not have that much power. It felt like it was kind of dogging itself around out in the ring. So I'm just going to say, you know what? It's had a good life. I'm sorry. Good motor. You did a good job. But now you gotta go. You were a good friend. You were a good motor. But you gotta go. But the whole car is gonna go. I pretty much stripped this thing for parts while I was building other cars. There's no dash, no steering column, no nothing left in this car. So it's pretty much just scrap weight. Here's those axles. I don't really know what I'm going to do with these, and the reason I say that is this one here, the end one broke off, but this here is still good. It's stiff, but it's still good. This one right here, the end piece is good, but all this is exposed and it's got a little bit of play in it. And the same thing for this. The end is good, but then it's still super dry and got a little bit of play. So I don't know. I'm probably going to save them, but I don't think I'll ever run those into cars again. But doesn't hurt having them, I guess. Oh, I gotta throw on the front end off this car. But oh well. Nukem is gonna go to a much better place than my backyard. So thanks everybody for watching, and I'm gonna try to remember to take some footage at the scrapyard before this video ends. I always forget, so Let's see if I can get some footage while I'm there. What a soupy mess today. But Nukem is at its finding resting place. So long, Nukem. It was a fun journey. You were a good car. Bye-bye.